Well, good morning, Tammy.
Good morning, Julie.
I'd say aloha because I'm in the aloha spirit today because it's supposed to be in the 90s. And so I'm
I
just,
know. And it is summer, and I was just saying to Julie, I have my background on because I'm kind of milking the whole summer thing while it's here. So
I say milk it, honey, milk it.
yeah, we're both representing warmth, and yeah, it's supposed to be warm here today. So
So I'm I'm in a very it's very interesting. I open my records as I always do before we channel. And all of a sudden I just dropped into the space of just complete peace and calm. And because usually I'm like, oh, let's talk about this, talk about that. I'm like, why'd you introduce us to? I'm just in this place of peace and calm, and I'm just going to be with it.
yeah,
So,
right. Well, no, that's good. That's great. So yeah, I'll just start us off because you know what? That's interesting. I understand that energy. I kind of feel that as well. Either I'm picking up on your energy or I'm just kind of feeling it's like that too, a little bit. So anyway, we are two psychic moms. And this is Julie Hawkins. I'm Tammy Langowski, and we are intuitive readers. And we are open for sessions and things like that. You can find me at tammysintuitive.com. I have a contact form on there. You can work through that. And for social media, excuse me, I'm Tammy's Intuitive Services on Instagram and Facebook. And I do have another YouTube channel called Tammy's Channel Chats for more channeled messages. So that's how you can find me. And Julie, how about yourself?
I'm at juliehawkins.com or bizpsychic.com, and same with social media at either of those two names. I think my Facebook is julie.hawkins.com. But yeah, because there's an artist named Julie Hawkins and we often get confused. But anyway, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Good. And I'm just going to add, so that's how you can find us. And so we have just a reminder, you might, if you've been watching our videos, but we have a live Facebook coming up tomorrow. I have to think about it for a minute. Tomorrow evening, Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So you can hop on, I guess again, Julie, how will we say this? Hop on your...
So yeah, so what's going to happen is we're going to stream it from my Zoom to my Facebook page, and then share it to Tammy's Facebook page.
Hopefully
so
you'll be able to share it.
My Facebook page or Tammy's Facebook page.
Right, exactly. Okay, so that's how you'll find it. So we hope that you'll join us and think of some questions you want to ask us, because that's kind of why we're here for you. We're gonna just do what we kind of do here, but we would have your questions to work with, and it can be any general like questions that kind of pertain to everybody, or evolution of the planet, and philosophical questions are fun too. Whatever that's kind of on your mind, like I wonder why or I wonder if, and we can ask our guides, and it's kind of fun to see what they have to say in return. So we're hoping that you join us tomorrow.
Exactly. Yes,
yeah.
I can. Oddly enough, I have no more to add to that. I must be in a quiet mode.
I know. Isn't that interesting when we're in those kind of modes too? Because all of us will feel that way. We are almost like you're just kind of, how would I describe? Well, you might be able to describe it better right now, Julie, but it's like just a Zen. I want to like do this kind of, you're just kind of it's a calm kind of energy, isn't it?
It's really wild. I mean, it's the opposite of really wild. It's just, yeah. So I don't know, we have to think of something engaging to keep you here, but I think we have a question today, right? And then maybe for me, it's the heat, plus which I had kind of a really disturbing dream last night. Just like, and I often fall asleep with the TV on, but it is not to anything newsy or anything, like it's just junk stuff that I watch. And at one point I just was dreaming about some girl being kidnapped and held by like in Afghanistan, and and they were going to kill her. It was really awful.
Wow.
Really awful. And then I found Oprah, and I'm like, Oprah, you have to help her. It's
I
like,
love
okay.
that. Yay, Oprah to the rescue.
But when I finally, I know, right? But when I finally woke up, I sat on the edge of the bed and I was just like, wow, that was disturbing. That was
Yeah.
really disturbing. And
It sounds like you almost like gathered a lot of like news things together, which can happen in our dreams because there is that one gal that's on the news right now, that they just found her boyfriend and her, yeah, anyway, I don't remember her name, but that's kind of on the
Gabby,
news.
Gabby. Yes,
Gabby, that's it. Yeah. And then, Afghanistan things and Oprah, well, she's just,
she's there.
she's Oprah. So
Anyway, I was up for a little while then. I decided to be up for a little while. And because sometimes, I don't know about you, Tammy, and you out there, but if, if I'm in a dream, if it's, I can sometimes go back into the dream if I wake up briefly and then just go back into it. And I did not want to go back into that dream at all.
yeah,
So I stayed up for probably a good half hour, just with junk stuff on TV. And
right.
so
Well, that could be part of that, yeah, what you're kind of feeling. So, well, so you said did we want to go with that one question you had, or do we want to just open
no,
up?
so here's how we're gonna do it. I think we have a couple of questions already for tomorrow.
Yeah,
And if we don't get to those tomorrow during the Facebook Live, then we'll do them at our next Two Psychic Moms. I would love to be inundated by questions. I would love nothing more to be able to say, look, keep your questions coming. We'll schedule for another few weeks out or a month, and we'll ask those questions then. Please submit them in the meantime. And so, yeah. And you
right.
can do that on my, I don't know if you have a way to do this, Tammy, but I have on my website, you can ask questions.
Okay.
And you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
submit a form. So yeah, with your questions. So it's super easy. And
Well,
then
I
I
guess you
don't
could in
lose
my
it.
contact form technically, but yeah, not the same as what you have, I think. But if somebody really wanted to, you could go on my contact form and just fill it out, and in the comments, you could.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So okay, so did that, I don't know. Now I hadn't lost. I don't know where we're going.
We're kind of interesting energy today, aren't we?
Oh,
Well, so
what
we're
is
gonna.
going on?
I think we'll just open up to whatever might be any messages that we might be getting today. Is that where you want to go?
Yeah, I think here's what I think I'm getting loud and clear, which is to be quiet. You know, it's going to keep everything is going to be at that two ends of the spectrum, I think, during this call, during this moment here. It's like, I think we really need to have some peace and quiet and calm. And however you do that, I mean, I got to tell you, I teach a lot of my students, have taught a lot of my students in the past to just open your records and sit there because it is so peaceful and calm. And I did that for, I don't know if I ever shared this on Two Psychic Moms, after my partner died. Obviously I was in very debilitating grief. And at some point, maybe about a year and a half later, I had taken a training to open the records and to give readings and blah, blah, blah. And I thought one night as I was laying in bed, I was just couldn't get to sleep. I'm like, I'm going to open up my records and just find some peace. And I ended up doing that every night for like the next year, because it was where I needed to be. It brought me into oneness with just that higher collective of beings, my guides, and whoever else was there, lords, masters, teachers, loved ones. And that's kind of what I felt just now when I opened up my records. And to be honest with you, I have not felt that in a really long time, at least when I'm getting ready to channel. I can certainly do that and feel at peace when that's my goal, right? But this feeling, it brings me back to that time. And so I feel like the message is, we really need to find something, whatever it is for you, to connect into, so that you can find some inner peace. Maybe it was after my disturbing dream and I'm like, I need to find some inner calm and peace for that. And I think that's the topic of the day for me, and I think it's a good one for the world. So I'm going to go with that. That's what they're sharing with me, and
Good.
yeah, whatever that is for you,
I love
however you
that.
get there.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that is important. And it's so easy for us to, I know as channelers, especially, I don't know, we all have abilities to do things and connect anyway. But I know that sometimes for me at my head hits the pillow and it's so easy for me just to open up and, then everybody's chatty.
Yep.
Everybody meaning, all the good stuff. But and then I just have to, and I have control over it. I mean it, but sometimes I don't, it's enjoyable. It's my quiet time because maybe I haven't allowed myself to really sit with it during the day. Maybe I'm doing readings for other people and all that good stuff, which is fabulous. Love doing that. But sometimes it is good to take more time for ourselves. But of course I find that I'm doing other things, so sometimes when I go to bed at night, that comes in, and I do have to talk to it after a bit that, okay, it's time for me to, shut down, so to speak. And Julie, I wanted to say that you might want to, if you don't mind, explain a little bit more about your Akashic records and what you mean by going into your records, because I think, not everybody knows about the Akashic records. Those watching might, but some might not. So anyway.
Thanks. And I think I I truly believe, Tammy, that you and I go to a very similar place.
Mhm, mhm.
Even if it's not, it may be at the same. I don't think that anybody ever goes to the same place in the records. Okay, so let me start by. Thanks, Tammy. Let me start by explaining that a little bit. So, um, the Akashic records are a vibrational source of information for each soul. And I'm going to actually so that's the way my teacher taught it to me. Okay, each soul has its own record that tells where it was, where it is, and where it will be, and provides information according to that past, present, and future. Um, I'm going to expand on that according to my guides, who say it's not just about planet Earth, which is what my teacher taught, because I've gone out into the universe and I've gone to other places and had connection into what I consider, um, if it's not a record, it's still a vibration that I connect into. So a rose by any other name is apparently still a rose. So never really quite understood that. But anyway, many flowers, many names, right? And so the Akashic records are a storehouse of that information, and it's held in a vibrational format. And so what happens is I say a prayer, I open up my records, and I can open up anything else that is either during a reading to open somebody else's records, or I can open up anything that's sort of the general collective or public, which would be planet Earth or the universe or whatever's beyond that, right? And they just said, which is beyond that, there is beyond. And so I just connect into whatever vibration is coming through. And then I work with my guides, teachers, and loved ones to interpret the best I can what that information is. Sometimes it's a feeling, sometimes it's a sensation or a picture, a sound, a knowing. It's all of those things. And then I try to give it to you in a format that makes sense. Sometimes that's the key there, have it make sense, right?
Right.
So, and anybody who feels called to this can do it. I did it in other lifetimes, and I just felt called to it in this one. So,
Mhm.
so I hope that did that
Right.
sound
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
explanatory?
Yeah, because I'm thinking, when you're mentioning your records, there might be people that don't know exactly what that means. So that's great.
And just
That's
one last
cool.
thing to add. So thanks for asking that. Which is for me, when I connect in, I'm connecting to a higher vibration, higher vibrational beings. And so it's very much a sense of, um, I really of, of oneness, of being with what people might call God or source. It's oh gosh, I just got goosebumps. So
Mhm.
it's it's a pretty amazing place to be. And so there, as I said, those times when I needed to be at peace and to let that higher source come in, I open my record. So
Yeah.
it's for a variety of things.
That's
Okay.
awesome. Yeah, that's great. So going back, trying to find your higher place to go, right? Sometimes you can use, thank you for that, Julie, by the way, that was fantastic. Sometimes you can use, visuals, like maybe you're breaking through the clouds to heaven, and you see the angels there, and you use your visualization, because that can really help you go to that higher place. For me, it's funny, Julie, because it must be, like the records, because I wasn't trained in the Akashic, to open Akashic records. But what I do as a visual actually is, and I haven't always done this. This is, I don't know, I won't call it fairly new, but I haven't been doing it the whole time, been doing readings. But it's kind of what I was saying is like, before I start a reading too, besides grounding and just being in a good, setting all my energy and all that stuff, I do like to go further, higher up with my crown chakra. And kind of that idea is I break through the clouds in a sense, knowing that I'm getting to that higher place. And then I will go into a library. I'll knock on the door and open the doors into a library. And I will say, okay, I have whatever my client's name is that I'm going to be, this is before we've started this session or they've called me or we've connected. I'll say I'll have so and so, is here, and they'll say here, and I'll have an angel just kind of bring me the book, you know, and that's my way of connecting also, with that client.
Ooh,
And
that's where you've never said that before.
yeah, and it's funny,
And
Julie,
like,
because it's not something I've always done. I've just kind of added that as a little bit of a visual, because I do love the idea of the Akashic records for sure. And the idea that it's really the library of knowledge. So I thought, well, that would be a fun, visual to incorporate. I don't need to do that, but it's just another way, to connect with angels and have a really good intention, I think, before starting.
so beautiful to hear that. And there are many, many ways to get
Mm.
into that it's really a vibration.
Yeah.
It's like taking a key and unlocking the door. If you stick in the wrong key, it's not going to open the door. But if you stick in the right key, right, it opens up that library.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
that's another great visual. Even as you say that, I'm envisioning you've got the golden key, and this key connects you to heaven, right? So maybe you go up there, maybe you're climbing a ladder, or you just, whatever it might be, taking an escalator up, and maybe you unlock the golden door and you go inside this door and you sit in this lovely maybe garden, perhaps with a nice little bench or someplace comfortable, and now you're in that space, and that you're open to hearing any messages that might come to you. You can invite your guides in and angels, and there's so many lovely things we can do, isn't there?
oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful visual. And it's so funny. I'm so visual, and I don't know why I don't think about doing those things, but um anyway, it was perfect. It was so beautiful. So try any one of those things that Tammy just said. They will take
Yeah,
you if you're ready.
yeah.
I was somewhere, I was talking to a woman about what I do. And she's like, oh, I don't know if I want to hear, certain things. And I said to her, I trust my guides.
Mhm.
They will only tell you what you are ready to hear.
Yeah.
So I'm saying
Mhm.
that for you because I don't want you to be afraid of going to a place that you've never been, or you don't know what's there. You'll go when you're ready, if you're ready, and you'll be guided there. And you may never. It may not be the right thing for you, and that's perfectly fine.
Right. Well said. Well said. Yeah, and that is important, because you're right. There are people who are going to be a little bit frightened of that idea. Take baby steps. Just practicing meditation and grounding is really, maybe even just grounding. My guides will often say that. Just even 3 days of just having fun with a grounding cord, a visual of dropping a cord, from the first chakra down to the core of the earth and grounding. Maybe you bring it up, you pull it up, you drop it back down. You make it wider, you make it thinner. You have some fun with the idea of grounding. And even that practice, you're doing something really good for yourself. So you can take little baby steps, on the road to discovery of connecting.
Exactly.
But you're always safe. If your intention is to be connecting with source and your angels and those in the light, then you're supported. Ask for that support. Faith has a lot to do with it. I do believe it does.
100%, 100,000, 50%, well, whatever, infinite percent. It's so funny because, now I lost my thought. What was that? I got hung up on the percentage.
When we were talking about the intention, setting the intention of being protected and all of that stuff. Maybe.
Oh, what you can see and what you don't see, there's so much. I mean, it could be overwhelming if you think about it, but don't think about it. But there is so much that we don't see. All we see is this physical world, and there's so much more that is accessible through just the willingness to open up our mind's eye, your third eye, your heart.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's why just even if you go there and you decide to just sit in that, maybe that garden, perhaps.
Or the beach.
What's that? Say again?
Or the beach.
Yeah, or the beach. Exactly. And not have any expectations necessarily. It's just to bask in the light and the healing that is there.
We really support you in that this week. I feeling like they're telling me, hold on. I don't know that there's anything, they just said, hold on, it might be a bumpy ride. I don't really know that they're going to give me more than that or what that means, or it might just be if connect into this for those times when you have to hold on because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Right.
And you need to have a place to go where you just open up and have that willingness to believe that there's something greater than you. How could there not be? The universe in and of itself, our planet, the energy that surrounds it in and of itself is just greater than this human matter. Yeah. Yet we're one, we're all one. If you think you're not, it's just not, it's not true. Everything is a vibration of above as so below and within and so outside of us. So, I could just go on. Anyway.
Oh, I know. All of these, well, it's a great topic. Speaking of the beach, I did a beach day yesterday. Sometimes I'll take myself to the beach when I know it's going to be a lovely day at the beach because I'm really particular. I love the beach, but I'm not a foggy girl.
What beach do you go to?
What's that?
What beach do you go to?
Sometimes I go to Seabright. I went to Seabright this time in Santa Cruz. And 30 minutes away, and if it's a beautiful day and I can, then I'd love to do that. So I just, as we all do, we know that the ocean is very healing in many ways. I guess everybody may have their own journey or thoughts about that, not journey, but their thoughts about it, because for some it may be something else. For me, it's very healing. I always say I'm not like a sports gal. You won't see me sporting out in the water. I like to have this Taurus likes to have her feet on the sand, preferably. I'll wade my feet in the water, but besides it's too cold anyway, I wouldn't want to go in. But anyway, but I'd love to sit on the beach and just do some nice meditation. It was lovely because it was a Monday and hardly anybody on the beach, really. I mean, compared to probably the day before, over the weekend, obviously. But sitting there, and I love to just put out the energy to all the creatures, the animals and the sea life that live in the ocean. Sorry, I'll try not to get emotional. I'm just so weird. Like I'm such a baby. But anyway,
when you said that, all I heard was us telling them we care. We care.
Exactly. We're acknowledging them, and I do this the sea elementals that might be in the ocean as well. And I always hear back, we love you. It's a collective love that comes back. In fact, in the distance, I could hear the sea lions barking over by the wharf. So I sent them an energetic love to them. And I think I asked them, in fact, I told my husband and my daughter this because I'm trying to remember exactly what they said, but it was kind of funny. I just sent them how are you? And they said, we're happy because you're here.
Oh,
That's what I did. I went, oh. Now, I wasn't planting that for myself to make it sound good. That's what they told me. And that's just how much love is out there. I mean, so I guess my point is it's another fabulous place to connect with source, and the energy of water is so very healing. Most of us would agree with that. So whether you're by an ocean or maybe a large body of water, a river, whatever you can get by, do get by the water when you can. You know, it really is very cleansing, and I always energetically take it with me. So I take in one last look. In fact, I'll walk back up to the beach as I'm leaving, and I'll turn around again and just, be grateful for the experience, but also collectively take that energy with me that I'm going to take with me into my home, and just bask in it. And you can do that. You've been to a place of great vacation you love, that you can intentionally just grab on to that, hug that energy, and know that you're going to bring it back with you, that you can go into that place anytime that you want to.
yes.
Maybe you have a little secret code for yourself. Maybe you anchor it. So what I mean by that is maybe I'm looking at the ocean, and maybe I place my hand over my heart, and I decide that when I place my hand over my heart, I will be taking that energy with me, so that when I'm back home, whenever I place my hand over my heart, I'll be brought back into that energy to feel it again. So there are things you can do to just kind of take it with you and love it up.
Oh, I'm homesick now for Hawaii.
I know. My gosh.
But
The
I,
beautiful waters of Hawaii. Yeah.
thank you for that. That was beautiful, and it's the mind is it's very powerful. It creates
Yes, it
your
is.
reality. Period.
Yep.
Even if things you feel like things are happening to you, how you respond is your reality, and how you create your response. So
Right.
it's never, your response is never really out of your control. You may have to work at it, but it's yeah, anyway, that's another whole conversation. So that was beautiful. I think that was a lovely way to I'll say leave this. We're not doing a question today, right? We're just doing this, right?
I think we just kind of decided today just to open up a little bit here to,
And to connect to the ocean energy, to the
Yeah.
Vai, as we, Hawaii, it's in Hawaiian, it's Vai. It's Wai, but it's Sa, Vai.
Never heard of that. Never heard of that term.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And the land is the Aina, and the mountains are, I want to say Makua, but I could be wrong. And the air is, oh my gosh, I forgot what the air is.
That'd be a fun thing to learn about. What you learned
Well,
about when you did it.
I did I ever tell you that I taught Huna?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And
Which
so
would be another interesting thing to talk about sometime, Julie. I know you've mentioned it a little bit on our Two Psychic Moms, but that might be something that you might want to explain more for us, and kind of what that's about too.
Yes, it's part of me, even if I don't teach it anymore, but it is part of who I am and always will be. So we'll talk about that on another.
Yeah.
Day. But it's very much about the land and the elements and how you work with them and respect them. We'll say that that's the short answer to that. All right, so this is probably then a good place to stop for today.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I'll thank them for just, wow, that was just exactly where we needed to go.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that, and appreciate everything that your guides and you had to say today, Tammy. I really
back at you. We're just
Thank you.
opening up. Yeah, and we're just very grateful too. And we hope that, these messages is something for all of you that you can, take with you. And
Exactly.
yeah.
All right, so go tell everybody to join us Facebook Live on tomorrow. That's Wednesday, September 22nd. And I'll be starting it on my Facebook page, which is julie.hawkins.com. Well, dot whatever. And then I'll share it to my Biz Psychic page. So you'll need to go find one of those. And then Tammy will share it to her page. So find one of those pages and
Yep.
join us.
Yes.
And
Great.
we'll probably open with the first 5 minutes or so of just getting situated. All right.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you.
Yes. Look forward to
Can't
seeing you.
wait.
Bring your questions. Bring your questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
bring your questions. All right, my friend, I will see you tomorrow, and bye to all of you, and see you hopefully tomorrow and then next Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. See you
Bye-bye.
tomorrow.